Greetings, my friends. Sandwich Warrior here, back again with another legendary review. You know, ever since the resounding success of my last review, I've been wondering how I could ever hope to top my previous work. The answer I came upon was just to do something completely different altogether. So, instead of performing a super structured review about one game, I've decided to do a little retrospective on some Star Wars games that currently reside in my library, all of which contributed to a large number of nostalgic gaming experiences. I've spent enough time flapping my app, so let's go ahead and take a look at the first game on my list. Sitting in spot number 1 is, drumroll please, Star Wars Battlefront. You know, I haven't played this game in a long time, probably about 10 or so years ago on my friend's original Xbox. I recently picked up this little gem at my local Goodwill for the low price of $3. Let's go ahead and figure out if this bad boy was worth the price of admission. Enough stalling. Let's go ahead and fire it on up. For the one or two of you watching my video who don't know the premise of Star Wars Battlefront, I'll do a quick rundown, just so we're all on the same page. Battlefront is essentially a hybrid of the Star Wars universe and the Battlefield style of gameplay, allowing you to fight in large-scale conflicts, pilot vehicles, and control legendary heroes from the films, across a variety of different maps, including those of the original trilogy and those of the prequel movies. There are a number of different game modes included in the game. Firstly, there's the story mode, which amounts to little more than a sequence of loosely connected missions bound together by a brief voiceover during the game's loading screens, and an occasional clip from the movies. There honestly isn't a whole lot else to say about this section, and it just kind of feels tacked on, included just so the game devs could check another box. This story mode does allow you to play a number of missions from the perspectives of each of the 4 factions, so at least that's something to look forward to. And hey, I can't complain too much about a game mode that allows you to murder Jar Jar Binks over and over again.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
A whole lot to say about this mode either, aside from the fact that this is where the meat of the game is located, as you're able to decide where and when your battles take place, and what mode you want to participate in, ranging from capture the flag to the traditional location-based conquest mode. I'm mostly stuck with the latter, however, as I feel that capture the flag can get a bit repetitive, but if that's your thing, then have at it. There's also Galactic Conquest, which allows you to take control of a certain faction and attempt to dominate the galaxy. Or at least the few planets represented on this map. Yeah, I felt that in this game, Galactic Conquest was more than a bit clunky, and suffered from a number of AI issues that I'll get into later. Fans of strategy games should probably look to Battlefront 2 to get their fix of this game mode. Now that I've covered each of the game modes, I get to whine about a number of the game's major failings. For one, you're forced to run it at a 2004-like resolution. This might sound like a stupid thing to complain about, but other games were able to run at 1080p back then, like Morrowind or Half-Life 2, both of which are showing their age, but still look pretty dang good compared to old jaggy lines here. My second major complaint is the fact that the game is too hard!
Oh, Greg, you're just saying that because you're bad at games and have a kill-death ratio that's lower than the frickin' Marianas Trench.
No! I may suck at a number of video games, but this is not one of them. Take this map for example. I managed to get a higher ranking than Mace Windu. You know, this guy. Me, an ordinary clone trooper, managed to be more valuable overall than a Jedi. The main reason this game is difficult is because your AI teammates are incompetent. Look at this guy. He managed to get negative 17 kills. This means that he went and killed 17 of his teammates. 17! Ugh! If he put as much effort into killing this enemy as he did to killing his comrades, he'd be decently high on the scoreboard. This wasn't a one-time occurrence either. This level of idiocy happens all the time. You can go through a level like a complete beast, killing everything that stands in your way, and still lose, just because your AI teammates are wandering around the map like they're blindfolded with their guns between their butt cheeks. It's because of this that I had to bump the game's difficulty way down, just so I could get enough footage to put in this video, and you guys didn't have to just stare at one singular map the whole time. You might have noticed that I haven't shown much footage of me piloting vehicles as of yet. Well, that leads right into my final complaint with the game, and that's that the vehicle controls suck! Oh my god, they suck so bad. This is mainly because of instead the standard controls being implemented, you know, left, right, forward, back, that sort of thing. The developers decided to add the ability to bank and flip to each vehicle.
This might not sound like a big deal, but when you end up having to control one of these things, you'll realize just how ridiculous and difficult it is to do. Look at this! Does this look like fun? I can barely tell what's going on. Ugh! Come on! Ugh! Ugh! I just want to drive a tank! When would you ever need a tank to do a barrel roll? You might just think that I'm terrible at controlling vehicles, but look at the AI's attempt to control them. I am not making this up. This is not a glitch of any kind. That is a computer-controlled player attempting to pilot a basic tank.
I won't lie. This is definitely me when I'm driving.
What even? Although it may sound like I can't stand this game, that couldn't be farther from the truth. This gem will always hold a special place in my heart, and I would totally recommend it to any fans of Star Wars or shooter games alike. I would make an effort to pick it up on PS2 or Xbox though, as those ports have much simpler controls and split screen as an added benefit. Now let's get right on into its sequel, the legendary Star Wars Battlefront 2, which came out a whopping 2 years after its predecessor. Honestly, there's not a whole lot I can say about this game that I didn't say about the first one. The premise has remained the same, albeit with upgraded graphics, more maps, and the ability to run at 1080p. Greg, that's the exact same resolution that the last game was running at. How dare you lie to us? Well, loyal viewer, the game does run at full HD, but all of my footage looks like trash because Nvidia Shadowplay saw that the main menu was low res and decided that was what the rest of the game was going to look like, thus resulting in some potato-looking visuals. Here's a quick clip of the game in all its HD glory. Actually looks pretty good considering its age. Aside from featuring enhanced visuals, this game also comes with an improved story mode, where you can play through the missions of the 501st Fighting Unit during the Clone Wars and the Galactic Civil War. Although the story isn't amazing or anything, it still provided a little bit of insight regarding the activities of the nameless clones you saw in the movies. And if nothing else, the story in this game is far better than the strung together maps of the previous one. The theme of Star Wars Battlefront 2 is definitely more. More maps, more modes, more story, more players. Seriously, look at this battlefield. This is amazing. It's just hundreds of dudes running into each other while walkers and snowspeeders duke it out above. I swear, the Hoth XL mode is worth the price of admission alone. I should probably get back on track here before this video gets too long. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention space battles. These awesome maps are welcome additions into the game, and are filled with chaotic fun and strategic gameplay galore. Oh man, I could talk about this game for hours on end, but I'll do you all a favor and give you my recommendation right here. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is an amazing game, and you're doing yourself a disservice not having played it, assuming you're a fan of FPS games and Star Wars. This game is pretty cheap if you know where to look, and you can run it on just about anything, so you really have no reason not to be playing it right now. Let's just hope EA's new Battlefront offering can live up to the fantastic games that preceded. Star Wars Battlefront 2015 doesn't count because it boiled down to a pretty looking dumpster fire. Oh yeah, Galactic Conquest mode is much better and easier to understand in this game. So that's what you're into? Enjoy. Oh yeah, and they fixed the tank controls too. Look, I can actually pilot it now. Huh. Fun. Well, that's part 1 of this series out of the way. I wanted to do this all in one go, but apparently I had a lot more to talk about than I originally anticipated. Well, anyways, hope you enjoyed this little look back into some nostalgic games of mine. Leave a like if you did, and consider subscribing so you can be notified when part 2 is up. Well anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye!